So please introduce yourself to me.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Ashika. I'm from Coimbatore and I'm currently pursuing my graduate program from Banana Institute of Technology. I'm currently in my pre-final year. So I'm a kind of person who always likes to create interesting and captivating content. When you don't see me creating content or dwelling into captivating content, you will find myself curled up with good book or listening to podcast or something. I always wonder about how the words could take us to a different world, how it captivates our imagination and all those things. So this is all about me.
Ashika, is it the first time you are taking an interview?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. See, there are certain do and don'ts of an interview session, right? So starting with the introduction, what I'll do is I'll simultaneously give you feedback because I am in a no network zone. I have borrowed Wi-Fi from somewhere, hotspot. So simultaneously, when I'll ask you questions, I'll be giving you feedback as it is. Now, very first thing is whenever what is introduction basically? Introduction is the backbone of any interview. I always tell in my interview
Yes,
session, the way you represent yourself. Okay, now you only tell me before the I turn on my camera, video camera. Do you know me personally? No, no,
ma'am.
you know nothing about me. But the way I'll represent myself to you. You'll get to know me in a better way. Similar is the thing with you, with the interviewer or the candidate. The way you represent yourself, the interviewer will get to know more about you, right? And there are certain do and don'ts of an interview, what you have to speak and what you do not have to speak, right? For example, just check on that. When you were giving introduction, you repeated two words again, right? You do not repeat words. Now that basically the interviewer wants to know something about you which is not mentioned in your resume. Now, how will you give a correct introduction? Let me introduce myself to you. Hi, Ashika. My name is Mrs. Ayushi Juyal and I am from Georgia, Bari. If I talk about my educational qualifications, I'm a graduate and a postgraduate in psychology from University of Delhi. By profession, I'm a counselor. My strengths are I'm an active listener, quite patient, have good communication skill, amazing patience level. My hobbies are I love to interact with people, listen to them, and if I could be of any help to them. That's all about me. Thank you. Now, in my brief introduction, I have talked about myself, my qualifications, my profession, right, my strength, and my hobbies. That's it. Nothing much. So Vikas sir will be sharing the recording with you. I'll repeat again. Go through the recording and prepare a good introduction. Send me the introduction. I'll evaluate and give you the feedback as soon as I receive it.
Yeah, sure.
And there are no charges for it. Okay.
Okay.
That's just a goodwill gesture from my end, right? Now I'll be asking you certain questions regarding content writing. Fine. Now tell me, what are your qualifications? Brief me on that.
So qualifications like educational qualifications or regarding the content creation skills.
No, are you a graduate, a postgraduate? What are you?
I'm currently in the third year of my undergraduate program.
Is that in distance mode or regular mode?
Regular mode. Like I've not completed my graduation. Like I've not graduated yet. I'm looking forward for placements.
Okay, that's in regular mode. So how will you do job with that?
Actually, our college offers the internship from third year. So for the internship tomorrow, I have an interview in a company called Hyperwatch. So for this, I'm preparing right now.
Okay,
So we'll be
fine. So
having a 3 months interview during the college course.
okay, so you won't face any sort of problem in your college, right? You will be able to manage
No,
both.
no, no. Yes.
Fine. Now, why do you think? What are the integral components of a good content?
So a good content should always emphasize. It should be focusing on the target audience. Like it should be like we can't serve a group of vegan steak, right? So it should be focused on the target audience, and also it should emphasize on the fact, and it should be integrated with the latest trends.
Now, now when I ask you this question, what you have to do is first you have to give the points and then you have to elaborate the points. For example, how will you elaborate the points? Speaking with engagement, keep the public, your content should be such that your public or the candidates are engaged into it, right? Fine. Second, utility. You should create content by keeping in mind the needs of other readers. Right. Third, credibility. While writing any content, you foremost duty is to make it credible. Now, what are the ways to decide the tone of a particular content?
So if we go with content regarding social posts and social media posts and all, we'll follow an informal, casual Gen Z term approach to gather to have a large target audience, to have a large traffic. While we are posting an article, like it should be in a formal approach. While coming to a blog, it should be a casual type, in an informal way.
See, I asked you about the particular, decide the tone. Tone. So basically, you have to focus on the tone. Either it should be the personality of the content, which sort of brand the person want, audience kaisi hai, how is the audience. You can choose the approach of nature of
Like
writing by knowing the readers. What do your readers want to?
by
Mhm.
analyzing the audience and by knowing the purpose of the content and delivering the proper emotional palette to through the content.
Yeah. So what you have to do is, again, I would repeat, first talk about the point, then elaborate the points. For example, first audience, the personality of the brand, right? Then medium,
Mm.
whether it's
Okay.
SEO blogs. Then under medium, you can mention whether it's formal or informal, right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
first focus, you know what is a flow chart? In a flow chart, what we do is we make a tree. And then in the tree, suppose there's a topic plant, right? That tree is a plant. And then there are several branches of it.
Branches.
Right. Like that, you have to explain. First, talk about the points, then elaborate the points later on. Fine.
Okay.
This way, this is the proper sequence. This way, the interviewer will be more impressed. He or she will get to know that you have perfect idea of what you got the question, basically.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Now, how can you make information credible?
So by making to make an information credible, we should focus on the quality of the content. Like use maybe we can use citations, and we should refer to potential resources from expertise projects, and we can refer to the research papers or blogs or any other interviews which have a recognized author.
Credible source.
And
Yeah. You can say that the whatever information you are gathering, that has to be from a credible source. So your target line is credible source, right?
okay,
Hmm.
okay.
Illustrate the basic difference between an article and blog. Now here, tell me.
So in the purpose of tone, in the difference of article and blog is in the purpose of tone. Blog is informal, personal, and conversational, whereas article is formal, structured, and objective. And coming to the point of view, blog has a first-person conversational tone, and whereas the article is written in the third-person view, that is in a professional tone. And coming to the content depth, blogs are generally shorter, covering only specific topic, whereas articles are generally longer. And the blog has a narrative style, whereas an article has a descriptive style.
Ashika, I would like to ask a question. I hope you're not reading it from somewhere. Points.
No.
Sure, no? You're not reading it from, because
Yes.
see, when you are giving the answer, make sure you're in eye contact with the interviewer. Right.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you're not in see, one thing I forgot to tell you, the backbone of an introduction is the backbone of interview. And whenever you are appearing for an interview, there are 5 things you have to keep in mind. First, personality, body language, expressions,
Uh,
eye contact,
Okay.
smile, gestures. Right.
Okay. Uh,
Right now, since we are on a virtual mode, so what you have to do is, if how will you get to know how? If I'll give you any answer, how will you get attached to that answer? The way I'm responding to you, I'm making use of gestures, expressions. That Ashika, you have to do this, you have to do that. So I'm making use of gestures, expressions, right? So all these are integral
yes.
part of an interview. So if I'm asking any question, you are giving the answer, be in eye contact, and then give the answer, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, fine. This answer
Uh,
was perfectly correct, which you gave. Now, what are the things you enjoy most about content writing?
So I enjoy how the words take us to a different world, like how it ignites the creativity inside us, and how we could write something, and when the reader reads, how they go into a different world, and their creativity pops up, and they imagine stuff what we are coming to say.
Do you possess a good work ethic?
Of course, I possess a good work ethic. I'm really professional when it comes to work.
Do not say, of course, I possess. This is a not a 2 point answer, right? If
Okay.
somebody asks me, do you possess? Of course, I possess. It's a negative sign, basically. So don't use that word. Do you possess a
Okay.
good work ethic? That means indirectly the HR is asking, why should we hire you? Right?
Okay.
So instead of saying of course, you should say, ma'am, I do possess a good work ethic. Uh, I am a potential candidate. If I talk about my skills, I'm an active listener, quite patient, I have good communication skills, right? And these all
Okay.
make me an appropriate candidate for the desired job role. I only need a platform where I will be given an opportunity to showcase all my skills. Just speak
Okay.
this. Just speak this. Do not say, of course. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What are the various types of content sets, and which amongst them is your favorite
Blogs.
content set?
Sure. I'm not sure of the answer, ma'am, but I'll give it a try. Maybe it's blogs, articles, social media posts, newsletters, emails, and all those stuff.
Point you have already spoken. Now in your interview, elaborate those points. These are
Okay.
the assets of content writing. Without these, content writing cannot be possible, right?
Okay.
See, the answer is same. What they'll do is they'll mold the question and ask you whether you touch your ear from here or you touch it from here, right? What they'll do is they'll mold the question just to check whether you get disconnected or disheartened, something like that. But be sure with your answer, right? What are the types of procedures you emphasize on to get your write up finally done?
Uh, to make sure that my write-up is clearly done, I'll make sure that it has a good structure, and it involves keywords, and it is SEO optimized, so that it could rank in a higher place. And I'll make sure to proofread it before finally
Yeah,
submitting it.
make sure I will do in-depth research of the topic whichever is given to me. Very important. In-depth
Yeah.
research. These are the keywords which you have to use. You know, when you even
Okay.
if you will use this word, ma'am, I'll do my in-depth research. The the interviewer will get to know that she knows the answer. There are certain keywords. Now, if the interviewer, very important, is asking any sort of question, basically they want to listen the keyword from you, right?
Oh,
So make sure that you
okay.
speak the keyword, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. What is the importance of target personas while writing an article?
I'm not aware of this question. So,
It's okay. Target personas are fictional characters or representations of a business ideal customer or audience, right?
oh,
Marketers create these profiles by collecting specific data about their top consumers, including their pain points, goals, desires, and previous purchases. So they make a in sort of person in mind, and then they talk about that. Just for example, if you're talking about a mobile phone, so what the shopkeeper will do is, ma'am, yeah, yesterday I had a customer, even they face the same sort of problem. Do not go with this phone. Rather, instead of this phone, I'll give you another phone, mobile phone, and it has all the facility. So what they're doing is they're making a port consumer, whether there was no customer like that, or just to try keeping focusing on data, because data says that Realme is not as good as iPhone, so one should not go for it. So what did the shopkeeper do? What he did it? He said, I yesterday only I had 2 3 customers. They came up to me and they had problem with these mobile phones. So it's better you do not go for this. Rather you go for that one. This is how you create.
oh,
So they are saying these are called as target persona, right?
okay.
Hmm. How do you proofread a content piece?
Sorry, ma'am.
How do you proofread a content piece? How do you proofread it?
And I'll make sure that it has a correct grammar and the punctuations are correct, and I'll make sure it is it is structured in a logical way, and it has a continuity, and and the content has a continuity.
Beta, again, very five points are there, key points which you have to notice. I'll speak it out. Vikasa is doing the recording and he'll be sending it to you. Very first is take a break. Take a break before proofreading to get a fresh perspective. Read aloud. Read your content aloud slowly and carefully to catch mistakes. Check for grammar and punctuation. Check for grammar, punctuation, verb, sentence, agreement. Review for style. Use a checklist. Get a second opinion. These are very important. These 5 points.
But do you have any sort of materials for learning all these, ma'am?
Yes. We have gathered certain data because conducting on certain interviews, the feedback which we got from the clients, candidates. So based on that, we have prepared a PDF. So Vikas sir will be sharing that as well. Right? See, what we do is if we conduct 50 to 60 interviews, so we take feedback from 30 to 40 people.
Okay.
Depending on the feedback, we prepare a PDF. Our backend team, they prepare a PDF. Right?
Okay.
These means whichever question I'm asking you, 60% of the questions will be asked to you. And we review our PDF again. It is not that after 6 months also we'll be asking you same questions. We keep changing the questions again and again. So as of now, these questions are of tremendous importance. So make sure you go all through these questions. Vikas sir will be sharing the PDF with you as well. Right?
Okay.
Are you a professional content writer? What are the ways through which you manage deadlines?
So to manage deadlines, I'll make sure to use calendars, and I'll stick to the timings. Like I'll stick to the deadlines. If I have to complete a project or a content in upcoming 2 days, I'll make sure to complete it beforehand.
How do you examine your content performance?
Uh, I'll make sure that the content is tailored for the target audience, and it has a good readability, and it connects with the target audience emotionally. It builds credibility, and they could feel connected with the content somehow.
Fine. Now the thing is target audience, you spoke this twice. Right?
Uh,
Now, what the interviewer want to listen from you is use different words,
uh,
synonyms. Very first is decide onto your goals. Now, how do you examine? How will you examine your content performance? First of all, very important, decide onto your goals. You'll have your goals in mind. Suppose you have to go to some place. Suppose you have to go to Kerala. Now, very first thing is decide your goals. Okay, now how will we go there? Very important. You'll have certain goals in mind. Okay, if we'll go to Kerala, now you'll have to decide, okay, which places have we will we cover? How many days? These are your goals, deadlines. Second, social media. Take help from social media, elaborate. Other media sources, very important one. Then use analytic tools. Adjust your strategy. After gathering information, adjust your strategy accordingly. Right. Now, if you want to go to Kerala, you have to adjust. Okay, fine. We'll leave from here in the evening. Then we'll reach. So you have to make adjustment. Right. Then analyze previous data and repeat. Check on previous data. You will see on YouTube, you search the people who had gone to Kerala, which method they had used. Again, you will check on that data and then you will make use of your data. Getting my point?
uh,
Then track your content conversions. Keep tracking and take feedback and make changes then. Right? These are 6, 7 points which you have to keep in mind.
uh,
Now, these are the questions which I have asked you. Basically get one step closer to your dream job. If you will answer all these correctly, nobody can stop you to achieve your goal or your dream job. See, Ashika, your communication skills are strong, but like you, there are many people who are appearing for content writers. Now, this is either you are doing freelancing or anything. There are many youth which want, because all are educated, all have done their schooling from an English medium school. Now, what do? They want to work also simultaneously and do their studies also. Either some of the students are teaching, whom I do counseling, I'm talking about those. Either some are a tutor at home, they're teaching also. Others are like, ma'am, why should we sit free? We go to college, we come back, then we are idle only. So why not we apply some content writing job? right? LinkedIn, they're checking profiles. Now, very important is there are many people like you, right? Many people. Now, what you have to do is you have to follow up procedures, a proper procedure, right?
Okay.
Now, the questions which I have asked to you, you have to go through those questions, right?
Okay.
Any sort of problem you will have, you can ask. Now they'll be asking, why should we hire you? So, ma'am, because I have the require. Don't say, of course. There are certain do and don'ts of an interview. Don't use this word. Yeah,
Okay.
obviously, of course, don't use these words. Say, ma'am, because I have the require, I have the talent, I have good communication skills, I'm an active listener, quite patient. I only need a platform where I will be given an opportunity to showcase my skills. This is the reason why I want to apply at your what institution or whichever company is at. Speak to the point, speak the answer in such a way that the HR don't cross question you,
Oh. Oh.
right? And make sure you follow that flowchart concept. Have points in mind, talk about the points and elaborate those points.
Oh.
Whichever question
Actually,
I've
they
asked,
said
yeah, sorry.
Actually, the HR told us like I've completed 2 rounds, ma'am. This is the third round, and they have said that this will be a technical round related to content creation. And today they gave me a task to create a content for a topic. And what sort of questions will be asked in technical content round?
See, basically, they'll be asking you, they'll give you any content and they'll ask you to analyze or how will you focus. Simple, the points. Now, they can ask, give you any content, talk about the BJP or how about this, in the morning we had conducted an interview that was for elections. As we got the result of the elections, now how will you write a blog on that? What are the things you will focus on? What are the two essential tools you will focus on? Then again, same thing, relevant sources, make sure the information is credible. I'll make use of credible source. Then some information I get from social media, some from the newspaper, like that. These basically they are only checking your skills, how accurate you are with the skill, and they want to listen to those points. Obviously, if you're a content writer, from where will you get information? From a credible source, right? Basically, they want to listen the word credible source. Make sure it's informative. You'll examine, right? Some of the points which I have told you, only have to speak those points and elaborate those points. That's it. Nothing much. Right? They'll only ask you about content writing, nothing else. Not apart from that. They might give you any topic based on election. What are your views on the election and how would you like write a blog on that? Please elaborate. Which party, according to you, should win? And how will you write a blog on that? Like this, they'll ask you questions. So, ma'am, now when they'll ask you which party should win and how will you write a blog, they don't want you to tell about the blog. They want you to talk about the sources which you will use to write a blog. Now, you just have to main thing in content writing is make use of the points and then elaborate the points. That's it. Nothing much. This is the best tip and trick which I have given to you. Many people, what they tend to do is, whichever question is asked to them about content writing, the last round only, they elaborate. So before elaboration, talk about the points so that the interviewer gets to know that, okay, fine, she knows it well. Now she's elaborating it as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether you have knowledge or you don't have knowledge, first talk about the points and then elaborate those points.
Okay.
Yeah.